Hello and welcome to Balance Strength number 4. In this series of strength training workouts, we are focusing on stability, so focusing on balance exercises and the muscles that help support us in that. We're going to do a short warm-up together. If you want to get a little bit more of a warm-up in, please feel free to press pause now and maybe hop on a bike for 10 minutes or so, or go for a short walk or a short run just to get your blood flow moving, and then join us. We're going to go into some joint mobility exercises in just a minute. When we do these workouts today, it's a series of 4 exercises, and I will show you some adaptations for each of the exercises, and then we're going to go through them in a circuit. So we'll do one of each exercise, or we'll do one set of each exercise, and then we'll go back around through the circuit together. We're going to do that 4 times. Equipment today. You can do this workout without equipment. You can do this as a body weight exercise, and you can also start to add some weights to it as well. When you're doing these exercises, I would recommend a light to moderate weight. I wouldn't recommend a heavy weight, because we really want to as we work on building up our stability in this type of exercise, we don't want to have such a hard weight that it makes it very difficult to do the balance, and we're more focusing on the strength part of it than on the balance part of it. So a good balance of a weight that you can use for strength and balance is really important. So I will show you where we can add weights and kind of think about what those might look like as we're going through. All right, well, let's get started. We're going to do our joint mobility exercises now. This is a pretty standard joint mobility warm-up that I like to use. There's probably some variations in my other videos as well. So maybe you find you have your own, and if you want to just fast forward to the workout, that's fine too. Okay, so we start with our hips or our feet out at wider than our shoulders, okay? So at a wide stance, and we're just gonna rock back and forth, okay? So starting to get the mobility going in your hips, in your ankles as well. You're gonna press your hips out behind you like you're reaching to sit back in a chair, and just going from side to side. We wanna do about 10 of these on each side, okay? So just get the blood flowing, get the joints ready for your workout. The next thing we're gonna do is you're gonna take a step back with one foot and reach across to the opposite side, okay? When you're doing this, try to keep your hips pretty much pointed forward. So you're gonna reach across with your arms, step forward, and then step back to the other side, okay? So just stepping back and forth. Try to get your heel all the way down onto the ground. That way we get that full range of motion going in our heel as we're rotating from your ball of your foot back to your heel. And again, about 10 of these on each side is a good number that I find works for me. A few more on each side. Rotate. Start to think about using your core even in our warm-ups, okay? So drawing your belly button in towards your spine, working on that, having that connection with your upper body and your lower body through your core. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is let's go ahead and get some mobility going in our shoulders. So just this big arm circles, like you're taking a swim stroke. First, we're gonna go forward arm circles. Again, start to think about your core. Invite it in. We're gonna use it in these exercises. Good, okay. And then go ahead and reverse. And we'll do about 10 on each side in reverse. last one for our shoulders is we're just gonna do a crisscross with straight arms in front of us. And you can alternate, so have one arm on the bottom and then have that same arm on top. Just get a full range of motion in this crisscross. Excellent. Okay, we're gonna go back to our hips and our feet again. This time, we're gonna go ahead and spread our feet out wide. We're gonna tilt forward, drop your head down, drop your hands to the ground, and now I want you to rotate, leaving both feet parallel and planted on the ground. I want you to rotate to the outside of one foot and then to the outside of the other foot. So we're just gonna tap. You could either, depending where your flexibility is at, you might be touching the outside of your leg, okay? You might be touching the outside of your foot. You might be touching the outside of the floor a little bit. About 10 of these on each side. All right, back to the center and then slowly roll up. The last thing we're gonna do is get our ankles warmed up a little. So today we're gonna point and flex around 10 on each side. You'll notice I do a lot of my workouts in bare feet. I like to do most of my strength training in my bare feet just to help challenge my stability. Also to help just build muscles in my feet and in my ankles that don't always get worked if I'm in my shoes. Go ahead and switch to the other side. The one time though I do like to wear shoes is if we're doing some kind of jumping. So when we get to those workouts, we do like a power or agility workout. I'll wear shoes for those, but you're welcome to either wear shoes or no shoes. All right, so around 10 on each side of those. If you want to do a little more, you can do some rolling of your ankles. If you need any place you need a little more warm up, feel free to hit pause and go ahead and finish that warm up before you get started. We're going to start now into our exercises, and we're just going to go right into them. So I'm going to teach you these as we're doing them. So we'll be doing more teaching in the first round, so it'll take a little longer in the first round, and then when we get into the rest of them, we'll go through them a little faster, and I'll give you some cues and some reminders as you go. The first thing we're going to start with today, though, is working on our ankles. If you're running, especially if you're doing trail running, there's oftentimes that you get onto courses where you have a lot of technical aspects of your course, and so doing some ankle strengthening is really, really helpful. It's helpful for all of us. So what you're going to want to do is take one of these exercise bands, okay, that looks like this. You can also do this without a band, so if you don't want to use one today or you don't have one today, it's perfectly fine to do this exercise without the band. You're going to put the band just above your ankles, so just like we do when we do our lateral steps. And then I want you to just wiggle your feet out a little bit, but keep them parallel so that you have some tension in the band, okay? So what the band is doing today is if we were to just not have tension in our legs, it would pull our legs in. So it's forcing us to have a little, to engage our feet, to engage our muscles in our legs, to hold the tension in the band. And then what we're going to do is pretty simple, but I want you to go slow on this, okay? And if you want to use something to stabilize yourself, you can. Feel free to use a chair that doesn't have wheels. Back of a couch is great for this. A wall works really well. We're going to go up onto our toes, okay? And then I want you to hold there for a second, and then I want you to slowly come down, okay? So we're going to up. We can go up, 1, 2, hold 1, 2, and then down. Try to go 3 count all the way down. All right, very good. So today the repetitions on these are 10 to 12. So I'm going to do 10 on everything today. If you want to add some more repetitions, that's fine. You'll have time as we're transitioning into other exercises. All right. So go ahead. We're gonna go up onto our toes, hold for 2, and then down 1, 2, 3. And go ahead and just keep going. Up for 2, hold 1, 2, and down. Great job. Nice and slow on the way down. Think about keeping your legs engaged, keeping your legs strong. Think about using your core, even though it might feel like something that your core isn't really needed for. It's always needed. It's always important to keep it engaged. Good job. Keep going. Focus on that slow all the way down. If you're someone who's prone to getting plantar fasciitis, this can be a really helpful exercise just to build strength in your feet. All right, I've got a couple more here. And this is my last one. Excellent, very good. So go ahead, you can take the band off. We'll come back to that next round. If you want to use weights for this one, you can. We're going to do a squat to balance, okay? So you can do this with or without weights. Go ahead and get in your squat position. So feet are going to be parallel. Your feet can be slightly turned out if you prefer to do squats that way. Remember, when we sink down into our squats, you want to feel like your toes can be lifted off the ground. Weight is in your heels. Sit down like you're sitting down into a chair. Press up through your heels. Squeeze your glutes as you stand up. And then I want you to keep standing up onto one leg. Hold there at the top for a pause. 1 second pause is fine there. And then get your squat placement again. And then you're going to go right back down into another squat and up into a balance on the other side. All right, so that's our squat to balance. We're gonna do 10 to 12 on each side, okay? So 20 to 24 total squats on this one, all right? So squatting down, up, get your balance, back into your squat. Great job. Press through your heels. Press through your glutes as you're standing up. If you get a little wobbly on any of these stability exercises, it's okay. We don't have perfect balance. We're challenging our balance. So it is normal to get a little wobbly. Just keep yourself in a safe space. If you need to work on your balance more, you can always put your weights down and make sure you have something near you where if you need to catch your balance, then you can do that. Good job. Keep going. I've got a couple more left on each side. All right, here's my last one. Excellent. Very, very good. Okay, you can set your weights down. We're going to move on to the floor now, and we're going to do some planks. We're going to do some rotating planks. So for this, you can do your planks. I want to tell you too, before I get down on the floor, is I'm going to do these in horizontal position. If you can do your planks, you can be on a wall, okay? So you can put your hands up against a wall. You just want to try to keep your body nice and straight. Whatever position you're in, is you want to have this nice straight line from the back of your head down to your heels, okay? Engaging your core, pressing your feet together if you can. We're going to be doing a rotation, so sometimes when I'm rotating, I'll have my feet spaced out a little bit more just so I can have my balance as I'm doing the rotation. If you want to go in the middle of that, you could use like the back of a couch is really great to just have a mid-range horizontal position. So wherever you are today is great. And I just encourage you to challenge yourself with it a little bit. So maybe today you're going to do wall planks, but then next time you do these, I want you to try your first set of them on a couch or on something a little bit more horizontal, okay? All right, so for these, we're going to get into that position where we have a nice straight line from our heels down to the back of our head to our heels, all right? So if you need to use a mirror or something, you can do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate. So we're going to bring one arm up to the side, okay? And then come back down and then rotate to the other side. All right, so we're going to go 10 to 12 on each side again. If this is hard on your wrist, the other thing you can do is I would say try the wall or a couch, a little less horizontal, might put a little less pressure on your wrists. Go ahead and keep going. I'm going to show you this. Is you can also use, like this is an Airex pad, so I can put my wrists on this and it just has a little bit more cushion for them. If you want to, you can also do your planks here on your elbows and do plank holds. So hold for 5 seconds and then drop down and then get back into it as we're doing these rotating planks. So either way, there are different ways that you can do your planks and still get a really good exercise for your core. All right, we should be almost at 10 to 12 here. I'm going to do a couple more on each side. Excellent, excellent. All right, very good. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do some step back lunges. So stepping, you can step forward into a lunge, you can step back into a lunge. When we step back into a lunge, that takes some pressure off of our knees. Sometimes when we step forward into a lunge, we have that forward momentum. And so that can put more pressure on our knee. For some people, that causes knee pain. And so I want to do a step back into lunge today, all right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to challenge our balance again. Okay, so I'm going to do mine without weights today. If you want to add a light weight, you're more than welcome to. I'll show you these from the side and from the front. So we're going to go all on one side and then all on the other side. Okay, so we're going to take a nice big step back, drop down into that lunge. So try to drop that back hip over our back knee, dropping that straight down, and then we're going to press off the back leg into a balance, okay? So I'll show you from the front. I have to come off my mat a little bit for this one. Take a step, nice big step back, drop down, and then we're going to step up out of it into a lunge. Okay, so we're going to go 10 to 12 on one side, 10 to 12 on the other side. Step back, up into that lunge. My balance is feeling a little challenged. And when you get to the top of that lunge, just hold there for just a second. Just collect your balance, let your body find its balance, and then go back. Use your core. Really think about, as you're drawing that leg forward, that your core is active in this exercise. This is really important as we're doing endurance type activities, that we're working on building a nice strong core. It helps, it connects our movements. And when we start to get tired at the end of a workout or at the end of a race, when we have a strong core, it helps us to hold our form. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the other side. All right, find your balance on your other leg. Take that nice big step back, drop down, and then bring your knee up to hold. Find your balance, hold it there, make sure you've got it, and then go back into that lunge. If you're by a wall like I am, or a chair without wheels, or something not moving that can help you with your balance, that is so acceptable to use something to help you with your balance. I certainly don't want you to fall over, and the help is okay. You know, the help just really ensures that we can be building our balance as we're working through these exercises. All right, a couple more. Very good, very, very good. All right, round one is done. Grab a sip of water, and we are gonna go into round two. We're gonna move through this a little faster this time, so if you need to go back for any instruction, you can head back to round one. And we are gonna get moving. All right, so stability band, if you're using that, we're gonna go back to those ankle exercises now. Remember to widen your feet out a little bit so that you have some challenge there, that with that band. Up, 1, 2, hold at the top, nice and slow on the way down. Really control that. Good. 10 to 12 of these. Sometimes our bodies don't cooperate in going down nice and slow. We'll just go back at it the next time. Good job. Very good, very good. Go ahead and take that band off. If you're gonna use weights for the squats, go ahead and grab your weights. We're gonna go into that squat to balance. Press down through your heels like you could lift up off your toes. Ten to 12 on each side. Nice strong core. Good job. Excellent, excellent. I'm gonna set my weight down, and now we're gonna go into our rotating planks. Remember, those can be a wall, they can be semi-horizontal, they can be elbows down and hold instead of doing the rotation. You choose what works for you today. All right, but wherever we're at, we wanna have that nice flat back, rotate up onto one side, that nice straight line from the top of your head or the back of your head down to your heels. And you might need to readjust, and that is fine. Sometimes our bodies want to wiggle out of the position that builds us to be the strongest. 10 to 12 on each side. Good job, keep going. All right, good, good, good. All right, go ahead and stand back up. And we're gonna do our step back to lunge balance. All right, if you wanna use a weight for this, you are more than welcome to. Today is just not a weight day for me for these. So we're gonna drop down and come up to balance. Hold that balance at the top. Use your core. Very good. When you get to your 10 to 12, you can shake your legs out a little bit. Switch to the other side. Good job. Very good, very good. All right, grab some water and we'll go back into our third round. You're halfway there. Back to our ankles. These little ankle push-ups. They might seem like they're not the exercise that makes you sweat a whole bunch. Up onto our toes, hold and drop back down. But I think these are some of the exercises where they might feel like, they don't feel like we're doing something high impact or high intensity. They allow us to do things that are high impact and high intensity. It's this base work that we do that just helps us so much on those days when, you know, it could be walking through a parking lot. It could be up on a trail on a mountain somewhere, anywhere in between. Having good stability strength is so important. I can tell I'm on my third round because my balance is starting to fade a little bit. Just keep working on it. Don't get discouraged. As you work on your balance, it will improve. 10 to 12 of these. Got a couple more. Good job, good job. All right, taking that band off. And into our squat to balance. Grab your weights if you're using weights. Squat down like you're sitting in a chair. Up to balance on one side. Back into that squat position. Really press through your heels. Think about using your glutes. Really engage them as you stand up. Ten to 12 on each side. Good job. I'm wrapping up my last two here. All right. Take those weights down if you're using weights. And we're gonna go back into our planks. Nice long body connected with a nice strong core. Rotate up if you're rotating. Just really try to go at a pace where your shoulders really have to stabilize. Good job. I've got a couple more on each side. Excellent, excellent. Finish nice and strong. Sometimes it's easy when we're going from one exercise into another to kind of go, okay, done with this one, on to the next one. Like, fully finish the one you're finishing, and then we'll start on the next one. All right. So our step back into a lunge balance. Take a nice big step, drop straight down, come up into balance, and then back. It's okay. If your foot touches the ground on this, it's fine. Our goal is to getting where our knee comes up, and the only place it touches is when we reach back for that balance. But we're all in a different spot of progress in this. So if you're touching down in between, no worries. All right, there's my 10 on one side, and I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna shake my legs out a little bit, give them a little rest, and then switch. Nice big step back, drop it down, activate the core. I have a tendency, I want to put my hands on my hips for this, but if you can start to engage your arms a little bit, kind of like you're running. So when when my swinging leg comes forward, the opposite arm comes forward with it. So it just works on the balance flow you have when you're out there running, because every step we take is a balance step. All right. Very good, very good. Grab some water. And you are on your last round. You're doing great. If you've done my other videos, you probably noticed that my room is switched around a little bit. I flip-flopped it in here, and this banner is a picture of one of my favorite running spots, Saddle Rock in Wenatchee, Washington. It's just so beautiful to be at in the morning when the sun's coming up and you can see the river coming through. It's so beautiful. So I love having that picture in here. All right, let's start. Last round on our toes, all right? So up for 2, hold for 2, control that on the way down. okay if that happens. Now I can tell I'm on the 4th round. Couple more here for me. Excellent, excellent. And I always say when I'm done with that piece of equipment, I don't have to do that anymore today. Done with the band for now. All right, if you're using weights, grab your weights. And we're gonna go into that squat, up to balance and hold. Press through those heels as we're standing up. Use your core. Engage your glutes. Good job. Good, good. Okay. Set your weights down if you're using weights. Think about these last exercises. We all get tired towards the end. Really focus on good form as we're finishing up today. All right, into our plank position. Feet are back. Body is nice and long. Core is activated. If you're rotating, we're going to rotate to one side, come back down into that flat position, and rotate to the other. This one takes a lot of control, and you don't want to rush through it because you don't want to be swinging and then lose your balance. So really thinking about this, control through your core. Get yourself back into position if you need to. All right, very, very good. And go ahead and stand up. And we're gonna go into our step back lunge to balance. Last exercise, really think about quality with each step. Even if you're like me and feeling a little wobbly, so if you need to, use something to help. Even sometimes just touching a couple fingers can help to stabilize you enough to still get a lot of strength and a lot of quality out of each repetition. All right, once you get your 10 to 12 on one side, shake your legs out a little, plant that standing leg, and we're gonna step back into the other side. Good job, you're almost there. All right, very good, very good. Grab some water. that's the end of our strength work. I have a short time of stretching here with you, so I encourage you to stay with me for that. I'm gonna get a sip of water first. That was probably really loud. Okay, so this is just a couple minute stretching routine, really intended to just kind of bring our heart rates back down. I encourage you to do more flexibility work. I like to do my flexibility a lot of times just before I go to bed, spending some time then, even working on doing some like fascia release, doing some work there with a foam roll, and then doing some stretching as well. So for our stretching right now, after this workout, go ahead, we're gonna go back to where we started. So a nice wide stance, and we're gonna press our hips over, and instead of rocking back and forth, now we're gonna hold. So difference in flexibility at the beginning of a workout. We're gonna be moving more. We're gonna be getting blood flow going and getting our joints moving, getting our muscles moving. When we are at the end of a workout, that's when we do the more static stretches where we hold them for 20 to 30 seconds. All right, let's switch over to the other side. Press that back into that hip. Try to keep your body pretty much on this plane here. So your feet should be parallel and pretty much your toes kind of at the same line. Seconds on this one. All right. And the next thing we're going to do is similar to when we started, is we're going to take one big step back, one step forward. Okay, so I'm going to show you from the side angle for this one. Okay, my back heel is planted. My front leg is bent. I'm going to tip my hips under a little bit and press forward. So keeping my hips pointed forward, I'm pressing forward. My right leg is back, so I'm going to reach across my body with my right arm and just back a little bit, just helping to open up through that hip flexor and through your shoulder. And again, hold here. You know, you can move your arm around a little bit. You could move your legs around a little bit as you need to. And just start thinking about breathing in and out. We want to be doing that in our strength workouts. But as we're starting to lower our heart rate, just getting our breathing to slow down a little bit. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side. And now my left heel is going back onto the floor. Tuck my hips under, pressing forward. My left arm is coming across my body. And just back slightly, just to get a little more opening through that hip flexor. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and step forward, bring our feet together. Now, my arms probably won't fit all the way in my video screen, but I want you to just take your arms up overhead. So plant your feet about hip width apart, nice strong legs. Squeeze your glutes so you're not getting an arch in your back. So active core, arms are just straight up and reach as tall as you can. And then go ahead and tilt to one side. And we're gonna hold it there for a few breaths. And come back up, keeping your core engaged. And just go ahead and rotate, or not rotate, but twist over. Twist is not the word either. Lean over. I want you on the same plane. Lean over to one side. Good. And then go ahead and come back up. Bring your arms down. I want you to widen your stance a little bit. Okay, for this one, I want you to slowly come down. So when we get our heart rate going, we want to drop our head right quickly down to our feet. So go ahead and just slowly come down to your feet. Let your arms reach down. Let your head drop down. You can straighten and flex your knees a little bit.
And then what I want you to do is walk your hands over to the outside of one of your feet. So I'm walking my hands to the outside of my left foot. The opposite hip is pressing back. So you feel a stretch in that hip as you press back away from your hands. And then come back into the middle. Same thing on the other side. Now I'm at the outside of my right foot. So I'm going to press back into my left foot. Come back into the middle and slowly stand up. And then go ahead and take a seat on the ground. We're going to do one more hip stretch. So you can just cross one foot over. I want it over the top of your knee, so not right on top of your kneecap, but above your knee. And you can either have the other leg, my leg is outstretched, or you can fold it under and cross that leg over. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall, I want you to just lean forward. I don't have the best flexibility in the world, so I don't lean forward really, really far. But lean forward into that. You feel that stretch in your hips. And breathe into that. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Tuck the opposite foot in, or you can leave it extended and then bring your ankle over the knee. Sit up nice and tall and press forward. Excellent. And our last exercise, or our last stretch, is just go ahead and grab around your shoulders. Drop your chin down towards your chest. Let your shoulders come down and forward very gently. Feel that stretch in your upper back and through your neck. Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you so much for working out with me today. I welcome you to join me for some of the other strength training series that I have, or you can also join me and find out more about running coaching at bluefirecoaching.com. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.